International IDEA, the International Institute for Democracy and Electoral Assistance, founded in 1995 and based in Stockholm, Sweden, is an intergovernmental organization with a mission to support sustainable democracy worldwide. It has offices and programmatic footprints across Africa, the Latin America and the Caribbean, Asia and the Pacific, doing so on the basis of demands expressed for its knowledge products, policy tools and instruments, technical support and good offices. The objectives of International IDEA are to support stronger democratic institutions and processes and more sustainable, effective and legitimate democracy.
IDEA has been active in Africa since 1995 when it was founded. And in January this year, the Africa program was relocated from its base in Pretoria to Addis Ababa as the political capital of the continent.
I find the fact that IDEA has decided to relocate their office from South Africa to Addis a very correct decision.
Following the move, a strategic meeting was organized at Debre Zeit in Ethiopia by International IDEA Africa Region and the liaison office to the African Union within the overall ambit of the ongoing efforts to reposition the program in order to strengthen its performance and impact at a time of rapid change across the African continent.
We convened the strategy and planning meeting essentially to afford us in the Africa program of IDEA an opportunity to engage in a collective task of rethinking the work of the Institute across the African continent.
This meeting, is quite a big step forward in terms of repositioning IDEA, to be competitive, with its support for democracy building in the region. There are many other players who are sort of making faster inroads because they are offering different techniques, especially on election support. And yet that is not all that is needed. It's not about the technicalities, but it is also about the total package of democracy. And that is what IDEA brings.
For an institution such International IDEA to reposition itself, it's important to do a review of all the challenges and opportunity that has occurred. And I think that this meeting was important because it was a golden opportunity for Africa Regional Program to review the challenges, the opportunities, but also to explore the new avenues in which the regional program can work.
The strategy session for developing the International IDEA Africa region has been very useful because it follows a review that was done by the organization to look at what are the trends 20 years and the work that IDEA has done in ensuring that they support democratization in the continent and also support the elections structures that manage elections in the continent.
This meeting has been very interesting for International IDEA's Africa Regional Program as we look at the way forward in implementing the new strategy. So over the past few days we've really discussed current trends, opportunities and challenges in the broader democracy and governance area in Africa and how to better position IDEA in the coming years.
International IDEA is holding this strategy meeting at a time when Africa is facing a lot of democracy and electoral challenges. Challenges around elections, challenges around increasing political space for people's participation, and including challenges around choices that people can make to make their lives better.
We have been able, coming from different parts of the continent, different segments of the societies, been able to truly brainstorm.
Some of us who come from the institutions such as the one I represent, the School of Leadership at the University of Johannesburg, also take away more useful insights about how we can improve our work so that together with IDEA Africa region we can become better catalysts for the process of building democracy on the African continent.
This meeting itself has been very inclusive. I think there's fairly good regional representation, and then there are different diversity here. The youth are represented, and that's a new one. I think for IDEA, I haven't seen the youth in such meetings before, and I think this shows a lot, about listening to demands and responding to the environment and to the fast-paced changes in the global arena.
It has been useful because it's starting to look at what is required now in terms of strengthening democratization, looking at the constituencies that need to be supported that they've been working with, such as women and the youth in particular.
International IDEA produces comparative knowledge in its key areas of expertise: electoral processes, constitution building, political participation and representation, and democracy and development, as well as on democracy as it relates to gender, diversity, conflict and security. It also brings this knowledge to national and local players who are working for democratic reform and facilitates dialogue in support of democratic change.
The strategy meeting is coming at a time when international IDEA itself is asking the question of who knows what international IDEA is and what international IDEA stands for. And I think what has come out very clearly is that international IDEA has got to rebrand itself, not necessarily by changing its name, but it has got to reprofile itself in the context of Africa's democracy and election challenges in order to become meaningful, in order for it to become a better institution, and in order for it to become a broker not only of knowledge, but a broker of ideas that can help the continent address its challenges in a better manner.
The strategy session was looking at how we could market the organization such that it is known and it is relevant to the work that is being done in the continent in terms of strengthening democracy.
Essentially, the strategy and planning meeting has afforded us an opportunity to step back from our day-to-day preoccupation in the workplace to undertake a collective reflection designed to enable us to answer a few basic questions. Why do we do what we do? Do the instruments which we use to do what we do match the broad goals and objectives that we set for ourselves? What kind of impact have we registered, and what can we do better in order to improve the mileage that results from our interventions?
I think it is important that IDEA now consider what kind of partnerships it should enter into. And indeed, the relationship between the AU and IDEA will be an important one also for the future. And Norway, as such, that's ready to support IDEA and is already, since a long time, a partner of the AU. And I consider the fact that IDEA now is here in Addis will give us a further impetus to strengthen our relationship with the Department of Political Affairs of the AU.
What kinds of partnerships can we forge from our new location in Addis Ababa, having shut down our previous headquarters office in Pretoria, South Africa, in order to be seated in the political capital of the continent? And what are the changes in context which we are experiencing across Africa that maybe necessitate a rethinking of some of the approaches that we have used in the past to promote democracy. But most importantly, how can we make democracy, or how can we contribute to helping to make democracy deliver better outcomes to the ordinary people of our continent?
The relocation of the Africa Region Office of International IDEA to Addis Ababa is a signal of readiness by the Institute to recalibrate its operational strategy and launch a new phase in its engagement with Africa in the context of multiple changes across the continent that have a direct bearing on the work of the Institute.